Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of DNA. We're going to be talking more about tariffs in the next episode. For now, we're going to take a break. Stay tuned. Today, we're talking about something a little closer to home. And for most, it's a lot closer to home. What am I talking about? This is a everyday use, and for some, multiple times per day use. What is it? And let's take a moment and let's sip on that. Toilet paper. Toilet paper is one of the only products where we don't ask how well it works. We ask how it feels, from softness to actually how many sheets per roll. And just like that, we skip the most important question. What is that question? Well, let's ask it. Does it actually do the job? Somehow, in this category, more than almost any other category that I know of, those feelings are replaced by function. Softness replaced strength. Thickness replaced efficiency. And branding replaced it all. Boy, did it ever. Because softness sounds good, sounds premium, but softness isn't performance. Not totally. And ply, well, that's just not quality. Yet, this product, of all products, has trained us to pay more attention to the marketing without ever asking what we're actually buying. And once you notice that, you can't unsee it. Most people think ply is a ranking. 1 ply, cheap. Makes sense. 2 ply, normal, value brand. 3 ply, fancy now. Now we're getting fancy. Where's the kittens? 3 ply sounds like you're doing okay in life now, right? Like you've moved up. Not sure. But does ply really tell you anything about the product? How good the toilet paper really is? No. It only tells you how many layers were glued together. Think of plywood. That doesn't come in plies. Still a ply. You can take weak toilet paper, stack it 3 times, and still end up with weak toilet paper and call it 3 ply. That's not quality. That's arts and crafts. Ply is a construction method, not a quality, and not a quality measurement. What actually matters is what the paper's actually made of. Its fiber length, its fiber bonding, sheet density. Could you imagine the advertising on that? And notice something interesting. None of that is printed on the package. Probably not even on the back. Haven't looked. You don't see the fiber strength or the bond durability. You see the big numbers, soft words, comfortable language, sheet balance. How many sheets? Because ply sounds technical without measuring anything that matters. It gives you confidence without giving you information or the quality to back it up. And confidence sells. That's marketing. It sells better than facts. That's good marketing. Now let's talk about cheap toilet paper. We've all had that. Oh boy, have we ever. Low-cost toilet paper usually uses short recycled fibers. And short fibers don't lock together well. They tear easier. They fall apart sooner. No need to tell you, we've all been there. So manufacturers compensate. How? Well, they either make the paper rougher or they make it thicker, but loosely bonded. That's where the reputation comes from. Rough doesn't automatically mean weak. No, not in this case. Some rougher paper are actually tougher because they're denser. The real failure point is early disintegration. If the paper gives up before the job is done, well, that's not savings, is it? Bad timing. That is panic at a bad time. And that's grabbing more. And that's grabbing more because the first batch didn't survive contact with reality. And if you grew up like a lot of us did, there was a rule we all knew very well. 3 squares. That was it. Not 4, not 5, not a just in case one, not a handful. No, 3. Funny was the number 3. And somehow it worked. We're not promoting 3 here. Because the paper held together, you learned how to fold it. You learned how to layer it. And, most importantly, you learned how to use it properly. Not all, but some. You didn't unroll half the roll like you were preparing for a natural disaster, but maybe you did. That rule only worked because the toilet paper was actually good product. When something works, you don't need excess. When it doesn't, you compensate. That is the whole story. Premium brands use longer virgin fibers. And yes, it feels nice. It sure does. But softness has a cost. To keep that plush feeling, they reduce density and add thickness. So the sheet feels bigger, not stronger. And that's why those rolls disappear faster. One day you're changing a roll and thinking, didn't I just put this on here? You did not buy efficiency. You bought a moment. And moments don't last. Most people never check sheets per roll, sheet size, and sheet weight. Two rolls can look identical. Marketing is brilliant and behave completely different. We've all been there. One needs 4 sheets. That's wrong. Another needs 8. Plus one more, just in case. Maybe more. Multiply that across dozens of people, dozens of days, dozens of years, and suddenly the premium option costs more and disappears a whole lot faster. That is really not premium, is it? That's inefficient with better lighting. Brands want you judging softness in the aisle, not replacement frequency at home. They want you squeezing the package. Isn't it soft? Isn't it nice? Not walking back to the closet again for another roll. Because once you notice how fast a roll goes and disappears, the spell breaks. Voila, it's done. Softness, photographs, well, efficiency, well, none of that really does matter anymore, does it? Store brands do not need an applause. They need reliability. 2-ply, medium firmness, higher sheet count. You don't say wow. You say nothing. That is success. Mega roll, triple roll, equivalent to 24 rolls. Equivalent to what? Who made up the math? There is no chart. There's no standard roll. It's marketing by confusion. Major confusion. The only numbers that actually matter are the boring ones. Sheets per roll, size of sheets, and density. Fiber they made it with. Everything else is noise. You can't maximize softness and strength and efficiency all at the same time. Something always has to give. Brands know this. They know it well. And they market it well. And they know people shop by feel. And will still do that. So they sell softness. This isn't really about toilet paper. It's about the modern product design. Comfort now, replacement later. Once you see it, you see it. And once you see it here, you see it everywhere. That is another episode from DNA. Keep your coffee warm. We'll see you next week. Cheers.